Nashville, Tennessee is home to some of the world's finest musicians. From country music to R&B to hip-hop and everything in between, if you've heard it, Nashville's got it. But ever since I moved to the city in 2013, I've met some incredible musicians who fall in between the cracks. Amazing musicians who are passionate about that other music. So I'm not here to talk about the music you've probably heard. I'm here to introduce you to them, illuminate their music, and share their stories. My name is David Rodgers. I'm an improviser, composer, and pianist here in Music City, USA, and I want to welcome you to the Improviser's Corner. On today's episode, I have the opportunity to speak with Nashville-based multi-instrumentalist and producer Daniel Sauls. We chat about his transition from working in the service industry to getting the call to tour with Lauren Daigle, the challenges and joys of life on the road, and the incredible influence of the Nashville scene on his own creativity. Daniel Sauls, thank you so much for being here today, man.
Man, thanks for having me, brother.
This is cool because you were one of the first people I ever asked to be on the show, and we've been trying for 4 or 5 months to make this happen. I'm so excited that we finally did.
Absolutely, man. This is a dream for sure. What
yeah.
you're doing here is super miraculous. You're a community builder, brother, and you're doing it one brick at a time, one human at a time, man. It's beautiful.
For people who may not know you, maybe introduce yourself, because a lot has changed for you over the last year plus or so. So maybe give people a little background who you are and what are you up to these days.
Yeah, I guess started off as a drummer, but I've kind of moved into this world of electronic music, live sampling, DJ kind of stuff. I'm doing a lot of stuff with an artist by the name of Lauren Daigle.
Yeah.
She does gospel pop kind of a thing. So I've been doing a lot of, instead of playing to tracks, I actually pull up and slice up and sample those tracks and perform them live.
Wow.
So that's kind of the niche I found myself in.
Yeah, that's amazing. I bet you get this question a lot these days, but how did the Lauren Daigle gig come about? Is there a story?
There's a story.
Yeah.
Up to, I think, 5 years, I'd been working in the service industry, working a serving job. Mm-hmm. And basically, I just got a call from this random gentleman by the name of Dwan Hill, who's an incredible player. And just up to, I think, the day of 5 years working in this industry, I got a call with her. So I just kind of took a chance, had no idea who she was or the camp that she lived in. So like being able to just kind of step into that world and have the opportunity to play music is just, it's humbling and very overwhelming for sure.
Yeah.
But a blessing.
Yeah. How do you said you sort of made that transition from the service industry to doing music full time. And how would you describe what you do with Lauren?
So she basically approached me looking to take a lot of the tracks that came from the record. The new record that came out, Look Up Child, is just like, it's actually has like a lot, very dense, a lot of strings, a lot of sampled percussion, just a lot of like sampled vocal kind of stuff. And so she wanted to have like an organic performance, but still be able to be true to like the original kind of vibes of the record. So basically they sent me to basically like slice up strings, for example, and be able to have that be off the grid, to have that be off of like the spacebar mentality, which yet again is like, it's a part of the game. Like I'm down, but to be able to like actually take that out of the computer and make it a performance based thing.
Yeah.
That's been the challenge that they kind of approached me with. So
sure.
Yeah.
think there's probably a lot of maybe misconceptions about sampling, that a lot of people think it's just pushing buttons. But I know for a fact, just having worked with you, that there's so much more that goes into it, especially on the preparation side of things.
Absolutely.
I remember when you were prepping, I don't know how many countless hours you spent just chopping up the record. What does that whole process look like? Is pushing buttons it, or is there more to it?
Certainly it is. There are buttons, and
Yeah.
I am pushing them for sure. That is a fact. In regards to like prepping it, like I have 64 buttons that I can work with here. So I have to figure out a way that I know that button 15 of this 64 is going to play this chord, and it's referencing this part of the song. So basically when I take an audio file and then I slice it, and then I just assign all those different parts of the song to a different button.
Okay.
From there, I can change the color of the button. Then that basically notates where it is in the song, and like the duration of the note. So that's that takes it away from just like a robotic kind of mindset where you're just firing off a different part of like a step in a sequence.
Right.
And I'm just trying to actually take these different colors, and be able to paint with them. It's just like, it's insane.
That's amazing. So
Yeah.
each song almost creates a different, it would have to create a different instrument, a different set of 64 then.
For sure.
So
Yeah.
how do you keep track of which one is which? Like when you say button 15, is it like a keyboard where you're like, oh, this is an E or this is a C? How do you keep track of all that?
Besides like the prep and organizing everything and the color coding, I mean, it's just like your instrument, you just shed it, you just practice it to a point where a lot of the times in the show I'm not looking.
Wow.
Just because I've just done it so many times, and it's a muscle memory thing at this point. So
you talked about painting with colors a little bit. I wonder if you wanted to speak a little bit about your own creative side and your own music.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I know there's a lot there. And I don't think I know anyone else, certainly not in this town, who has the very specific and deep skill sets that you do. Playing drums, playing guitar, being a singer-songwriter, doing the production thing,
Man.
and this as well. How would you describe your own artistry? Like, is there anybody, because it's so unique, is there anybody you pull inspiration from? Or how would you describe your own music? And
and I think that's like where I'm at right now. I'm still trying to figure out who I am as an artist, and I think that's why I'm trying all those different things. Because I grew up on rock. I grew up on like Steely Dan, like more like the yacht rock, AOR kind of stuff, and then like the Clash, like punk and all that kind of stuff. So I try to pull from like that as an energy, just like the aesthetic of that kind of music is always just like really just blood pumping music. That's just like a good time. So, but I still find myself always gravitating towards like hip hop and of course like jazz. Growing up in like suburban Georgia, like being able to have access to like this incredible music, like that's honestly what drove me to pursue sampling in general. So like, of course, Jay Dilla, Madlib, you can hear like there's little things that Jay D would do. You hear these things and it's just like, it's almost like he did that for us, for like the people that are actually listening, you know what I'm saying? It's wild. But in regards to my artistry, I'm definitely trying to to do that. I'm trying to create a space, not just worry about if it feels good or whatever. All that will come, but I think really it's just like creating I don't know, it's a vibe.
Yeah. Is there any challenges maybe to what you do, because it is so varied? Because I know you are on the road a lot, and having to manage being on the road maybe for the first time for a long period of time, I know it has its set of challenges. Has that impacted you in any way?
Life on the road with the Lauren camp is insane. Like, that's family. Just a really fun atmosphere, very family oriented. I can't find a negative word for anyone, band or crew. But that being said, it is kind of difficult being able to pursue all the things that I want to. And that's something I've kind of always been worried about, just being, to be real, just like, how do I do all these things? Like being a multi-instrumentalist.
Yeah.
Like, if you focus all your time on this one thing, then all these other things suffer. So it's like really learning that organization and being able to like define different times for me to be able to work on my songwriter stuff and then work on my hip hop production. Like that's kind of been the struggle, being on the road. But I think I've found the middle ground, and that will always fluctuate, but I'm happy where I'm at right now, and I'm excited for the future for sure, with where my artistry will take me, I guess.
I think we're all excited as well to follow along. Are there anything specifically that's helped you find that middle ground, like a routine or anything that you've realized? I'm always curious about if they could give advice to their younger self, what they might say. And I wonder if there's something in there that's helped you find that middle ground to let you balance all these things.
Man, it's write it down. I think that's the big thing. Like, I got a good old like analog calendar, with pen and paper kind of thing. Yeah. And there's something about taking all these things that are going on in my head and actually putting it down on paper. It's something about that action that actually makes me do it. Yeah. Because, I certainly I had a history of, not being very organized, and which, I think is awesome. I think being sporadic is positive, and that should be a part of your life. But at the same time, being able to, again, compartmentalize everything, just so you can actually, like, I don't know, have a better understanding of what you're doing and how to get better at that, So
that's cool. That's cool to hear. I think I just have one more question.
Yeah.
And you have been involved in so many other musicians and other artists' artistry. Myself being one of those lucky people. how would you say the communities or the city of Nashville has affected you? Because the communities are so deep and so broad and so vast, and there's so many people who I've worked with personally who have affected me, and maybe vice versa. How has Nashville affected you?
Man, that's an awesome question. I guess I'd say, in regards to the community, like, it's pretty much like unending in its support. Like, there's just, with the amount of like variety of music that's here, and also just the variety of players that are in this town. Like, I think that's the one thing I've noticed is just people just go out to others' shows and just support one another, or just, drop a kind word on Instagram or something. And like, honestly, that's the one thing that got me through. That, and also, of course, getting opportunities to play and be able to pursue this thing. Like, I'll always name drop this dude, Rick Wilkerson, who just recently moved back to Atlanta. And he's the guy that called me to do live sampling, to do what I was doing just strictly in my bedroom, with just a computer and a tiny little controller. And he's like, hey, what if you just did that live with my band? And he just, allowed me to make mistakes, allowed me to be me, gave me permission to play, man. So like, it's guys like that. I mean, gals like Elena Renee, who's just like super hungry, and like being able to see that in like local artist eyes and musicians' eyes, be able to see that hunger, I think is kind of puts, checks me and says, is like, okay, is this really what you want? Does this make you happy? And do you still want it? Do you still want more?
Yeah.
So
that's great.
That answers your question.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much, man.
Yeah, dude. Thank you.
I'm excited to come up with something.
Let's cook
with
man.
you. Yeah.
Come on.
2 cooks in the kitchen.
That's right, baby.
Cool.